Hello, ready, steady, free-fromers. It's Friday and that means it's free-from cooking day. So today we are going to make, now that I'm back up to full strength, drum roll, blueberry cheesecake. Now this is dairy free, it's all the free-froms that are usual for my channel, and so we've got a wonderful recipe coming up that's quite easy to make, just needs a little bit of preparation. Okay, now let's dive in. We're going to make the base first and let's get cooking. By the way, do you like my apron? I got it made. Ready, steady, free-from. It's cool, isn't it? Anyway, so let's make some blueberry cheesecake. I have a flan dish here. You can use small individuals, you can use one big one, you could use a deep plate, you could use a bowl, so whatever you've got you can use. Now we're going to start with the base, which is, we've got half a cup of, I've got pecans here, and we've got half a cup of dates. Now I've soaked these dates for about 5 minutes just to help them kind of mush up a bit. And then we're going to add about maybe a quarter teaspoon of salt, maybe a little bit less because I don't want this to be salty, and this Himalayan sea salt is quite strong. So I'm just going to do a few cracks of that before we get it busy. So I'm going to pop it in the food processor and whiz it all together, and then we're going to put it in the base of here. Using the metal blade because we need it to break down these dates and the pecans. Now that's just short of a half a cup, so I'm going to add just a few cashews. You can use any nuts for this base. It suggests almonds, but you can use pecans or walnuts. Like I said, I've just added cashews in, but you could use any nut really for this. So let's whiz it up. There we have it all whizzed up. I'll show you the consistency. So it's quite sticky. We've got a ball of it here. I'll just show you. So it's kind of sticky and gloopy. You can see the little bits there that it's all chopped up into, so it's quite fine. And we're now going to just press it down into this flan dish. So we're going to press this down now across the base. So what you won't have seen is me dragging this around the base. It's been quite tricky to do because it just slides everywhere. Not quite sure how to fix that, but I've just managed to press it down enough so that I can drag it across. So don't think that I've made this look easy because it was a little bit tricky. It's taken me probably a minute or over a minute to spread this all out because it kept moving around. But there we've got, it is quite a thin base, so if I just move it, it's probably a couple of mil thick. So it's not very thick, but it is rich. So you don't want it really thick. You might, after you've tried this, do double and do a thicker base. But I'm going to stick with this because I don't want it too rich, because the cheesecake is quite rich anyway. So see how you get on the first time you're making it and then adjust it to how you want it. So now we've done that, we are going to pop it into the fridge to let it set almost and just cool off and harden up, okay? We have the base then in the fridge cooling, and now we're going to make the filling, and this is going to be done in kind of two parts. So I have here some soaked cashews. Now these have been soaked overnight. In the recipe it does suggest soaking them for at least 5 hours, or overnight is best. So I've gone for overnight. This is so that you can get the consistency and the smoothness, and also soaked nuts are a lot easier to digest. So if you do have digestive issues, then soaked nuts are much better for your system, easier to digest, okay? So there we are, they're soaked and they're rinsed, and so that's what we're going to be using. Now I'm going to be using the Vitamix for this, and it's just throw all the ingredients in to start off with, and then we'll do the next step. Now if you don't have a Vitamix, you'll need a stick blender. If you do it in your food processor, it might be good enough, but it needs to be seriously powerful in order to break down the cashews, otherwise you're going to have bits. So either use your stick blender and get through it to get that smoothness, because you want this smooth and creamy. It's really not very pleasant when it's got all bits in it. Trust me, I've been there, made one, had to eat it because I don't want to waste it. And it's not half as nice as the smoothness of this cheesecake. And in a cheesecake, you don't want bits, do you? Okay, so we're going to throw all the ingredients in. So we have 1.5 cups of raw soaked cashews. Then we've got the juice of 2 lemons. There we go. So it's the juice of 2 lemons. Then we've got either the seeds of a vanilla pod or some vanilla extract. So 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's that in there. Then we've got some melted coconut oil and some honey. So I'm going to pop the honey in first. We've got 1/3 of a cup of honey. Now, if you wanted to do a variation of this, you could easily do variations of this. So I'm using blueberries today. You could use raspberries or strawberries or blackberries, whatever it is that you want to use, you can use. You could do some kind of a lavender if you like that kind of thing, and then you could use a different type of honey. I've got some Scottish honey at the moment, and I was tempted to use it in this recipe because you can really taste the heather coming through it. And so if you had like a lavender flavoured cheesecake, then you could add a different type of honey that carries the flavour of wherever the bees have gathered all that lovely pollen from. Honey and coconut oil. Oh, that was an unexpected surprise. I've got the coconut oil left on the spoon from when I measured it, and then the honey together. Oh, that was really nice. Get that gentle coconut flavour. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Right, where were we? So we've got melted coconut oil. Now it's not too hot. I don't want it too hot. I've literally just melted it and there was a bit left unmelted and I left it to melt on its own. So I don't want it too hot because otherwise anything cold that it hits, it'll start to solidify and we don't want that. So have we got everything? So let's get the lid on and blitz it. So I just blitzed it for about 40 seconds maybe. And I'm now going to do a little bit of a test to see how smooth it is. So I'm just scraping around the edges. You can see in the bottom there, it's all mixed in. It's quite loose, okay? And that's absolutely fine. So just going to get any edges in just in case any bits are around. And then we're going to see how it is for taste and also consistency. That's lovely and smooth. You can taste the lemon and the cashews. You could just leave this plain, stick it on top of the base and decorate it with fruit. You could absolutely do that. It's really nice. I need to stop tasting it. Okay, that's really good. Ooh, you're gonna love this. So I am just gonna blitz it for another 10 seconds just in case there's any bits. Because I don't want to keep testing it to see if there's any bits. Might have to lick this. So I'm just going to blitz it for another 10 seconds. Okay, so I've blitzed it and we're back with the base. I've got the base out of the fridge. So we're going to pop some of this onto the base. Now there's no proper measurement here. We're just going to go for just over half of it. So let's see, I've got about 600 ml in this and we're going to pop it onto the base. There we go. So I went for about 300 ml plus a couple of spatulas, slobs full. Slobs, I'm not sure if that's a real word in cooking terms. So we're going to spread this all over. You see it's got that lovely cashew colour. You can see how smooth it is. It's just divine. Now it doesn't matter, you know, you can do this ratio however you want to because the second half of this topping is going to have the blueberries in it or whatever fruit that you choose. So we're going to just pop this into the fridge fact, I might put it in the freezer. I'm going to pop this into the freezer just while I make the rest of the topping. Now we're going to add in, I've got some frozen blueberries here. They have thawed out, so they've been sitting here a little while. So I'm popping those in there now. And that's all the blueberries. So we're going to zap that to mix in the blueberries, and then we're going to pop this layer on the top. Right, so we have liquidized the blueberries in with the cheesecake mix. Now prepare to see what looks like a liquidized purple minion. It's really like aubergine colour. So there we have it. So now we're going to pop this on top of the plain cheesecake base. Now, as I said, you don't have to do this. You can go for a nice even layer if you want to on the top of this. You can swirl it in. You can do whatever you want. You could even put some blueberries on the surface now before you put your topping on. Or you could keep the topping, the second half of the topping plain, put the blueberries there and then put the topping on top and then put the blueberries on top. Be like a layer cheesecake. That's an awesome idea. Why didn't I think of that before? So you can see how purple it is just by the contrast here on the side. So play with your food. I know your mum and dad probably told you not to, but now you're a grown up, so play. Play. It's great fun. So let's get all of this. I feel like flicking it on like paint. It's bringing out some child in me that wants to make a big mess. But of course I am also the adult, and so I'm going to have to clean up that big mess. So here we go. Pop this on the top. You can see I've got in a bit of a mess here with it. That's typical of me really. Whenever I'm painting I get covered in paint. It's pretty much the same with food. So we're going to spread this all across. This lovely blueberry topping. And this is going to be a fantastic dessert that we are going to enjoy this evening after dinner. Now I'm going to pop this in the freezer. So it does need to be frozen. It's going to need to be frozen for, so probably 3 hours minimum, I would say, although 2 might do it, I don't know. See, look at that, it's just saying I can't get off of the spatula, you're going to have to eat me. So I'm going to. Purple tongue. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is so good. I haven't made this in ages. And it's so good. Okay, so I need to put that down, I need to step away. So I'm going to put this in the freezer. I'm going to come back in a few hours and finish off the video to do the taste test, to cut it and see how it comes out of the dish. I'm a little bit worried about that, but we'll see what happens when we get there. Hopefully it being frozen, it'll be easier to get out and it won't stick, but we'll see what happens. Now, I have a solution for that if it does. So, yeah, I will see you in a bit. Right, so it has been just over 2.5 hours and I left it in the freezer. You might have noticed I had a bit of a change of hairstyle. I've been over to the hairdressers and had a haircut. So here we are 2.5 hours later and we're back with the cheesecake. Now I've just taken it out of the freezer so it's nice and solid. So now I'm going to attempt to get a piece out of it. Now here I have a cup of boiling water. So I'm just going to pop my knife in it to heat the knife up because it's going to make it easier on me trying to get this cheesecake out. Just to give it a bit of heat to get through that frozenness. So that'll do. Let's just wipe that clean. Oh, it's quite soft actually. So I think this might need a bit longer. The edges are harder than the middle. Now the moment of truth. So see if we can get it out. hang on. Haha! Okay, so here we have, you can see there the level. Now that is a bit mushed, but also you can see that, in fact let me show you in here because it looks a bit better in here. You can see the layer, so you can see the layer there, and it's a lot cleaner than it is on the slices on the plate, but it's come away pretty much okay. I used a smaller knife to get that out, so that's come away quite okay. Now what I could have done was put a layer of cling film underneath that, or saran wrap, whatever you call it, a layer of thin plastic to line it, and then once it were frozen I could lift that out and then pop it on a plate. Now we're going to do the cheeky taste test. Now I'm just going to eat it as it is, as in just come out of the freezer. Now, oh, look at that. And so, as I said, it's a bit softer here in the middle than it is at the edges. It's not too far off though, but you could leave it out for 10-20 minutes to kind of thaw out a little bit and make it a little bit softer. Here we go. Oh, this is good. What would go really nice on this to make it even more decadent is coconut cream. Oh, the middle is quite nice because it's softer. So I'm just going to try a bit of the edge bit. That's more icy. Now, fortunately, I don't really have sensitive teeth, but it is a lot colder at the edges. So it might be a good idea to leave it in the freezer for 3.5 hours to let it fully solidify. Then when you get it out, leave it for 10 minutes. If you leave it too long, it does get quite sloppy, but you can refreeze it. It refreezes okay. I just want to show you the base bit. This isn't crumbly and crispy, it's still kind of gooey. All right, so that texture that you get at the bottom of a cheesecake normally, that's kind of biscuity, it's not like that. There is going to be a recipe coming that is more like that, I'm hoping, because I've seen one, and so I'm going to give it a go. So, there I have it, blueberry cheesecake. I might even decorate this with some blueberries later when we have it for pudding, or second pudding. And I'm going to enjoy eating the rest of this slice. So enjoy your cheesecake. Subscribe, like, share, whatever you want to do. Put a comment below. Make some suggestions as to what you'd like me to make. Got a couple of things coming up soon. Coleslaw's one of them. Barbecue relish is another. Hot cross buns we're going to get in before Easter comes along. So I need to do that soon before it creeps upon us. All right, see you next time in the kitchen. Bye.